Good day, ma'am. So, this is the the discussions about the lesson 3.5, which is the professional conduct and ethics. So, as with the other professions, security personnel are also guided by their profession's conduct and ethics in the performance of their duties. Their professional conduct and ethics are stipulated in Section 1 and 3 Rule of the RA 5487. So, of course, the security guard is they act as a professional, of course. So, para dili sila isisiyon sa mga tao like that, something like that. Number 1, security guard creed code of ethics and code of conduct. So, all members of PSA and Private Detective Agency CSF GSU shall security observe their creed, code, and ethics and code of conduct. So, meron silang creed itong PSA, CSF, and GSU. So, security guards creed. So, as a security guard, my fundamental duty is to protect and live property and maintain order within the VCT. My place of duty, protect the interest of my employer and our clients and the security and stability of prejudice, honest in my actions, words, and and do do my best to uphold the principle, makajus, makabayan, and makatao. So, this is the creed of the security guards. So, dapat they secure uh, they secure or they protect the lives of and property, and of course the lives of their employee and ethical standards. So letter A is a security guard. Detective is fundamental duty is to serve the interest or missions of the agency with the client's customer, and the agency is supposed to serve. So letter B is he shall honest and thoughts and needs. So basically the the security guard is always be honest on their duty. So letter C is he shall not reveal any confidential information confided to him as a security guard and such other matters imposed upon him by law. So letter D, he shall act at all times with the decorum and shall not permit personal feelings, prejudice, and undue performance of his official functions. Letter E, he shall not compromise with criminals and other lawless elements and the prejudice of the customers or clients, and shall assist the government its relentless drive against lawlessness and other forms of criminality. And code of conduct. So letter A, he shall carry with him at all times during his tour of duty and license authority to carry a firearm. So, dur- uh, the security guards during his duty, so they must they must carry their a license and of course the authority to carry his firearms. Letter B, he shall not use his license and privileges to the prejudice of the public, the client or customer, and his agency. Letter C, he shall not engage in any unnecessary conversation with anybody except in the discharge of his work, shall all times to keep himself alert during his tour of duty. So, um, ibig sabihin, dili siya dapat mag makigtabi sa mga employee or sa mga tao nga mo sulod. Dapat focus siya sa iyang duty. And letter D is he shall not read the newspapers, magazine, books, etc. while actually for force of duty. Of course, dili siya kumbaga during his duty, so he not dili siya dapat magbasa-basa og mga newspaper like that, mga books, kay syempre para maka-focus siya sa iyang kung unsa ang iyang duty. He shall not drink any intoxicating. So during his duty, they must not allow to drink the intoxicating, like uh, kanang mga ilimnon nga makahubog. And he shall not know how to operate fire extinguisher. So in case of the emergency, like if may sunog, so dapat as a security guard kabalo ka mo operate sa fire extinguisher. And he shall familiarize himself with the private security agency law. So dapat iyahan na siyang i-familiarize as a security guards ang RA 5487. And general orders, these are pretend after 11 GO of the AFP and the PFP. So number 1 is to take charge of the post and all company properties at view. So as a security guard, so you have to ikaw yung may responsible sa lahat ng properties sa company. And to work during his tour of duty with the military manner, keeping always in the alert. So of course, as during your duty or during his duty, dapat during his tour of duty, dapat naka-military manner siya, dapat astig, and of course dapat always alert to repeat all calls from post more distant from the guardhouse. So example in the entrance, so dapat kung ano yung sinasabi ng customer is dapat lagi mo yung uulitin. To report all violations of orders, I am instructed to enforce. So dapat mo siya i-report kung unsa to mga violations nga nabuhat. To quit my post and only may properly relieved. So dapat number 6 is to receive, obey, and pass on the relieving guard all orders from company officers or official supervision post to in charge shift leaders. And to talk to one except in line of duty. So example, you have to assign in the entrance, main entrance of the company, so that you don't you don't allow to talk to one, di ba? Because you have in the line of duty to sound or call the alarm in case of fire disorders, to call the officers in any not covered by the instructions, to salute all company officials or superiors in the agency. So it is very important, no, na if may mga officials na makikita mo, so dapat lagi kang magsalute sa kanila. And to be especially watchful at night during the time of to challenge persons near my post, and to allow no one to pass loiter without proper authority. So dapat dere is be vigilant as a security guard para if naay mga intruders or mga kawatan is dali nimo siya dakop. Letter C, Professional Creed Code of Ethics and Code of Conduct of Agency, Proprietor and PSA, CSF, and GSU. Number 1, Creed of Security Agency. So Proprietor Code of Ethics and Code of Conduct for Private Security Agency, Company Security Force, and Government Security Unit. So security agency operators creed. So it is talk about the security agency operators. So ito yung mga nag-ooperate mga agency. So as a security agency operator, my fundamental duty is to serve the interest of my cliently, and my security guard is to protect the interest of the government and adhere professionally in the conduct of my business and without prejudices and compromises to human rights. So this is the creed of the security agency operators. The their security guard is ang ilahang tungkulin is to protect the interest of the government. And of course, as a security agency operator, uh, so his duty, or the agency operator's duty, is to serve an interest of the cliently, of course, and the ethical standards. So letter A, endeavor to fulfill their professional duties in the accordance with the highest moral principles, always conforming to precepts of truth, fairness, and justice. And letter B is contributing to the national welfare of securing and preserving the industrial facilities of the country through competent guarding services. So dapat dito is may contribute ka sa the national welfare and code of conduct. So they shall at all times adhere to professional ethics and refrain from practices that negate the best interest of the private security service industry, and they shall not use to deceitful means and or mispresentations in all their business transaction. To this end, they shall avoid granting to rebates, and they shall not indulge in cutthroat competitions by PSA and their clients. Um, they shall pay their guards in accordance with the rates fixed by law. So as a agency, if you uh, if you if you build an agency like this, dapat your security guard is dapat fix yung sinasahod nila according by the law. And when a prospective client with the existing company security force calls bids for the additional security guard, and all binding security agencies shall observe the principles of equal pay. So dapat dito is all security guards, dapat equal lang kanilang sahod, walang walang kulang, walang labis, walang kulang. And they shall not under any circumstances employ for guard duty any persons without professional license and security guard and issued by the Chief of PNP. So dito is dapat if mo duty ka, if as a security guard, dapat dapat na jud kay license, na jud kay ikapakita nga license ka as a security guard. They shall they shall at all times exercise vigilance and be prepared to prevent the use of their guards of the agency in the activities. So dito is sa agency is dapat gina-practice ang inyong mga security guard na maging vigilant, and of course dapat ready sila permente kung nabay mga mahitabo, and when activities of this nature have come to their attentions, they shall matter duty render appropriate report to Philippine National Police Authority. So example, on duty ka, so if na kay mga makita nga dili ka nais-nais or dili maayo is dapat nimo siya pong maki-coordinate po sa mga PNP o Philippine National Police kay para napod kay ka timbang, of course. So that's all. So this is the discussion of lesson 3.2, the security personnel qualifications, firearms and equipment. So letter A, definition of terminologies. Number 1, persons. This includes not only the natural but also jurisdictional persons such as a single protection ships, partnerships, corporations, companies, or associations duly organized and registered with the Security Exchange Commission. So this person, it is this is the, kumbaga, ito yung ang tinutukoy dito is yung pagiging ang tinutukoy dito is as ikaw o as a person nga if you establish like the agency is dapat nana siya naka-register siya sa Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC. Security number 2 is security guard, also known as a private security guard. Watchman shall include the person offers or renders personal service. So example nito is daghan tag makita diri nga security guard. So ang ano-ana nila, ang ilahang main nga trabaho jud is to secure the area, the person, the personnel. And private detective refers to any persons who does detective work for hire, reward, or commissions other the members of the AFP, BGMP, and Provincial Guards, PNP, of any enforcement agency of the government. And letter B, qualification of security guards and security officers. Number 1, basic requisites for security guards. No person shall be licensed as a security guard unless he passes the following qualifications. So, if example, if may bala ka nga mag-apply as a security guard, so ito yung mga qualification. First is dapat Filipino citizen ka, high school graduate ka, and physically and mentally fit ka, of course. At least 18 years old but not more than 50 years old. So, and has undergone pre-license training course and most process any of the disqualifications. Number 2, desirable qualification of security guards. In addition to the minimum qualifications, security guards must also possess the following. So, letter A is alertness. So, it is very important as a security guard is dapat alert ka, and judgment. Sounds and good judgment is more than the use of common sense. It is the arriving wise, timely decisions. Confidence. So, when we say confidence, dapat as a security guard, dapat confidence ka sa imong profession para dili ka isi-isihon ka sa mga tao, like something like that. Physical fitness, of course, as what I have said, napaka-importante nga dapat physical fitness kasi pangit na example if may mga intruder, so paano mo sila habulin kung di ka physically fitness. Tactfulness, ability to the guard to deal with the others successfully without offending. So ang dapat dito sa tactfulness is dapat kabalo ka mo pauyon-uyon sa mga customer, sa mga tao, para dili ka maka-offend. self control. So dapat if na dili malikayan nga sa isa ka establishment na mga tao nga kanang isog kayo, stricto kayo, sakit manulti, pero as ikaw as a security guard dapat kalma lang ka permente. So interest, loyalty, responsibility, and the trustworthy. So it is very important as a security guard na dapat you have a dedication, interest as your professions, and of course loyalty is very important. Number 3 is exemptions from the pre-licensing. The following need undergo the pre-licensing training for the security guards. So veterans and retired of honorable discharge, military police responsible for processing all the qualification mentioned preceding section. So if ano ka, pre-licensing ka, if kwan ka sa na discharge ka or na kumbaga retired ka sa military or police personnel and ROTC advance. So if if kanang advanced officer ka ng ROTC, reserve officer training course, so pwede ka dito. Qualification of private detective, so ito yung mga qualification. Holder of baccalaureate degree of Bachelor of Laws or BS Criminology, and graduate of criminal investigation course. Yes, advanced reserve officer, so like ROTC. So if advanced ka, pwede ka, ito yung mga requirements ng private detector. Qualification for security officer, so first is Filipino citizen, holder baccalaureate degree, physically and mentally fit. So as what I have said earlier, that you need to your body to maging physically fit, and of course mentally fit din. Has graduated from a security officer training course, retired personnel or PNP or AFP, must not pass by the any disqualification enumerated in section 2, rule number 2. And qualification of security consultant, so ito yon, holder a master degree in either criminology, public administration. So if master degree ka ng BS criminology or law, so ito pasok ka dito, and must have at least 10 years experience sa imong dating nga trabaho, or as a security dapat na kay 10 years nga nga experience. Other exemptions, any other officer or enlisted man of the AFP or a uniform member of the PNP Honorable Exchange is separated or retired from the service exempted from the requirements. So use of firearms and equipment, so passes of firearms, after complying all the requirements. So as a security guard or as a kanang agency, so if ma submit nimo ni nga mga requirements, kay mo ni siya ang imong mga makuha as a firearm. Shotguns not higher to 12 gun and low power rifle, revolver or caliber 22, caliber 38 pistols or revolvers not exceeding in 1 firearms for every 2 guard into employee. So sabot ani is sa duha ka guard, or example sa school, so duha ka guard is dapat isa lang sa ilahang naay caliber 38. And number 1 is PSA with 100 guards, at least 30 pieces of licensed firearms. So dito is private security agency with 100 at least 30 pieces. So dito is dapat sa 100 ka guard, so dapat naay 30 pieces nga license of firearms sa ilaha. And for regular license operated or LTO, at least 70 pieces of firearms. And use firearms for private detective agency shall optional. And of restrictions to possess certain caliber of firearms, the total number of the prescribed high-power firearms shall not exceed 10% of the total members guards employed. Private security agencies are not allowed to possess high caliber. So in a PSA or private security agencies, dili sila gina-allowed na mogamit og mga mga high power firearms like the M16 caliber 45 and Magnum caliber 41 and 44 and caliber firearms. So, and exemption of granted by the Chief PNP of Regional Director or Regional Police Officer under the following conditions. So, letter accusations of the high power firearms shall be expensed for the PSA, CSF concerned. Before the firearms are issued, the same should be registered with the PNP. So, before nimo as a agency, before nimo siya i, before nimo siya i-issue sa imong mga security guard is dapat naka-record ang firearm sa sa PNP. The security personnel who will use such firearms shall be given adequate training for the care and use thereof, which will be under the provisions qualified in the PNP. Number 3, limitations in the carrying of firearms. So, the issued firearms shall be carried only by the security guard, of course, during his tour of duty when the proper uniform. So, if during his duty, dapat naka-complete uniform, and of course, where is assigned, except he is escorting big amount. So magdala lang ka og firearms if you escort the big amount of money. uh Confiscations of firearms could be confiscated when it is about the use in the commissions of firearms actually being used in the commissions of crime. Of course, if maka security guard ka tapos gamiton yung firearms as sa crime is ma-confiscate na. And dispositions of confiscated firearms, the law enforcement officer who is confiscated the firearms shall inform the Chief PNP through CSG within the 24 hours after the confiscation. So, if ma-confiscate yung yung firearms mo, dapat you need to um, you need confiscations of firearms. The law enforcement officers confiscated firearms. So, you need to inform the Chief of PNP, and when the confiscation is by order the court, same shall be turned over the court concerned. So, i-turn over mo yan sa court. Filing of applications. So, it shall be filed with the FID or through the SAG-SD or CSG district officer for the regions outside NCR accordance with the firearms laws, implementing executive orders and regulations. In addition, the following shall be submitted. So, letter is duly approved by LTO, of course. Certifications, safety bolt ownership prescribed by the Chief of Firearms and Explosive Divisions of CFED. Um, and of course, number 8 is revocations of license to possess the firearms. Reasons of revocations. So, ito yon. Letter A is failure to submit issue of if firearms for verification as required by the Section 87. If ma-fail mo yung, kumbaga, di ka makasubmit ng kung ano yung nakalagay sa Sections 897 of RAC. So, ma-revoke yung firearms mo. Carrying of firearms by security personnel without appropriate DDO. So, if dili aprobado sa DDO tapos nagdadala kag firearms is pwede na ma-revoke. When its serial number is duplicated or using serial number for more firearms. So, di na siya pwede. Carrying for firearms outside the place stated in the permit required by EO or carrying firearms in places prohibited in the law. So, if magdadala kag pusil basig naka-off duty ka sa sa public space, public places, so bawal siya. And convictions of the operator of manager of the agency of any crime involving moral turpitude. And If illegal possession of firearms, no security guard or private detective shall use unlicensed firearms in the performance of his duty. So of course, as a security guard, so dili ka dapat magdadala og firearms nga na dili siya naka-registered. It shall not exceed 50 rounds of ammunition per unit of duly licensed of firearms. Individual issue security guard shall be limited to 25 rounds per security guard. So, sa individual issue security sa security guard dapat 25 rounds lang siya gina-issue sa mga security guard. And 13 is use of BHF, UHF handle radio. So, dito is dili lang firearms kung dili na po yung mga dapat na po yung mga radyo nga gina-designate sa mga security guards para gamit gyapon na siya sa mga establishment like sa school ganyan. So, thank you.